everyone, it's Eli. Welcome back to my channel. And first things first, in my first video, you may have heard me address myself as Elliot. That is no longer the name I'm going by. It is definitely Eli, because bitch, I'm getting that shit legally changed. And unless I keep getting Rex, there's no way I can go back and forth with changing my name. I don't know if there's limits to that shit either. So it's Eli. Like, I'm definite, 100% sure that is the name I'm sticking to. It feels right, and when you know, you know. You know, especially when it comes to choosing your name, it has to feel right, and Eli definitely feels right. So, speaking of my first video, I do want to thank everyone who liked, shared, subscribed, commented. I felt all the love, and you guys really did your thing because, I just felt so happy putting some content out there, and it was well received. And this is definitely why I wanted to come back and make a second video. So I did an Instagram poll on what people wanted me to talk about in the second video, and it was between relationships and then binding as a plus size trans man. Now, my Instagram followers, which are really just my friends and people I know, they chose to want to hear about binding. But me being who the fuck I am, I'm going to do this video on relationships, and that's because I want my binding video to be really in depth. I want to show what the binding looks like in different clothing. So there's going to be a longer video that's going to take a lot more time. So I'm just going to keep it to relationships right now, but I promise that video is coming. And I do want to get into the relationship content because I feel like that's been a really important part of my life right now. Is who would think in a pandemic that I would be thinking about relationships, but I am. There's so much free time during this pandemic that's there's a lot of time to think, and romance, relationships are definitely one of the things that I think about the most. So, well, not the most, you know what I'm saying, bitch. At the end of the day, these men are not shit. No, I'm kidding. Not the most, but I've just been thinking about it a lot. Like, I do think about relationships a lot, and this is going to be an interesting video. I guess this starts off by me talking about my relationship styles. I've only been in monogamous relationships, which is one person and another person dating each other and being exclusive. Polyamory would be, non-monogamy, basically. It could be multiple people, like two people dating each other, but then those two individual partners could be dating other people and have other types of relationships, like sexual, romantic, and it's a consensual thing. Like, there's communication between those two partners who are branching off and maybe having other partners. Maybe there could be like a throuple, and that could be polyamory as well. But personally, I have only been in monogamous relationships, so I don't know. And it's, I've only known monogamy, and, it's just our world, our romantic lens is centered around one person and one person. That's what I at least am used to, and have known my entire life. So, I don't know if I'm polyamorous, and if I had a partner who was polyamorous, of course I don't want to be like, I don't want you doing that, or I don't want you seeing other people, because it's not my place to dictate what other people do. But at the same time, if I am monogamous, if I come to learn more about myself and I say, what, polyamory is not my style of loving and being in relationships, that's fine. I would be monogamous, but it just means that I wouldn't be with someone who's polyamorous, because my way of loving involves one person and me being in a relationship exclusively, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that was a long way of saying that currently I'm monogamous. So but that's really important to define my boundaries, define how I love, and it's a good thing to talk about, because if some people who are watching this aren't aware of what monogamy is and polyamory is, or other types of loving, you know, the words that they're labeled as, well, maybe this is a start for you to branch out and look into those things. Um, Sexuality, bitch. This is something I just, as I grow and as the days go by, the shit changes. Like, it's very fluid for me. I'm gonna be completely honest. Um, I am very, very attracted to men, and I would say I'm bisexual, but I used to identify as pan for a while, but bisexuality for me includes trans people. I can see, pansexuality including people who are non-binary, who don't identify with, the gender binary as male or female. But bisexuality for me just really includes all people, and I want to be respectful of identity. So, but yeah, I'm attracted to who I'm attracted to at the end of the day. I don't think gender has ever mattered for me. It's really about if I vibe with that person, and also like attraction. Like, am I attracted to you physically, but also am I attracted to you emotionally, which is a huge thing for me to be attracted to, is emotions and personality. Because without that, then my fucking air freshener went off. But without that, I it's not gonna last. Basically, for me personally, I can only speak for myself. That shit won't last. Um, so yeah, bisexual is the label that I resonate with, and like I said, it's fluid. Like, I'm mainly attracted to men, but then there are some days where I am attracted to women more. But I'd say for the most part, like, I thought I was gay for a while because I'm like men, but um, I would definitely identify as bisexual. So I knew this was gonna be a tough video to make, but also a video that I would really enjoy. I just got out of a relationship, which is why it might be tough for me to talk about this. Um, and I would also enjoy this because I've been in love, and it's something that I want to talk about too. Not to be a cornball, but I love love. Like, I do. I love seeing people be in love. I want to be in love. I have been in love. I've been heartbroken. All that shit. But um, yeah, I just got out of a relationship, and what can I say? I mean, he might watch this video, so I gotta not really filter myself, because at the end of the day, like, that was not a good relationship, and that was not that was not a good relationship, and I learned a lot from it, but not for the. I don't like learning a lot about relationships because I suffer. You know what I'm saying? It to me is like, oh, it taught me a lot. Like, bitch, if I could have dodged that bullet, I would have 100%. But it did teach me a lot, and it mainly taught me not to rush into things. It was a very manipulative type of person that I was with, and didn't respect my boundaries whatsoever. And I'm the type of person. Well, I haven't been this way always, but I'm the type of person now where it's like, if you're not respecting my boundaries, and we're having conversations about it, and I'm explaining to you why I have those boundaries. Not that I should have to take that step, but because we're dating, I'm gonna want to take that step with you. I'm not gonna give everyone that pleasure of explanation. That's gonna be, bitch, back the fuck up. But with him, it was just very like, I'm gonna take you step by step of why these are my boundaries, why you shouldn't be crossing them, and that's that. But even after those conversations, he would still, you know, cross those boundaries, and it just, he had to go. Like, after that, after he didn't get his way each time, he would always like break down. He was very like passive, so it was just like literally having breakdowns to try to guilt me, and that to me was just a red flag. There was a lot of fucking red flags here. Like, holding your life over somebody's head is also a red flag, and that is also an abusive type of behavior. So needless to say, snip snip, like that relationship did not last long. I'm glad that I'm out of that relationship because for a while I felt like I had to stay, especially when someone is threatening their life. I did stay for a while, not in a relationship. Like I broke up with him, but we remained like friends. But for me, that wasn't like something I willingly wanted to do. It was just, I hope you don't hurt yourself. And, again, I would give this person resources, refer this person to their close circle because, after I say I'm done with you, basically, like I want to break up with you, I don't want to be near you anymore or have anything to do with you anymore. I want to at least make sure that you're okay, that you have a support system, but that can't be me. Like, I'm sorry if I'm trying to separate myself from you, then why would I stay in your life? And the only reason I did was because you were holding your life over my head, and that's not healthy. So, again, going out of my way to send resources for, mental health, and like mental health check-ins and all of those type of things, referring this person to their close friends. I felt like I was playing like a therapist, and although that is my profession or the profession that I'm headed in, it's not my job as a partner. Don't get me wrong, you can be there for emotional support, but as a partner, I should not be acting literally as a therapist. And if you're out there and you're in a similar situation, I mean, what can I say? It's hard. It's really fucking hard because I still feel guilty. Some of those manipulation mechanisms, they got to me and they work. And even as I'm talking about it, it's like I get the anxiety again and I feel it in my body. And it's still something I'm trying to work through. But needless to say, I'm out of that relationship. And I hope if anyone is listening to this that's in that like in a relationship like that, that one, you're safe, and two, you have a good support system backing you up no matter what choice you make. But I really hope that one day you can get out of that relationship if that's what you want to do, and seek some help to really make sure that this person is at a distance and continues to stay at a distance. Now that that's out the way, goodbye. I'm going to speak about former relationships, and they weren't shit. So this is gonna be a brief because that could be a whole video in itself. Um, but I dated a lot of fucking shitty people when I was younger. Teenagers, we think we know everything, but there was some shitty people that I dated, and I didn't date many people. It was 4 people in my life. 23, and it was hard. It was hard to date those people. Toxic. Just I don't know. The way I would describe those relationships was just taking advantage of somebody young. You know what I'm saying? And I was young, thought I knew everything, thought that I, like I said, I thought that I knew everything. So I did whatever I felt was right in the moment. And I really do follow my heart and sometimes don't think with my head. So a lot of these toxic relationships ended up having a long lasting impact in my life on how I see the world, like experience new relationships, um, friendships, any type of bond that I have with other people, really interpersonal relationships. Those relationships fucked me up. So, in simple terms, they fucked me up. But I learned, and like I said, learning from something that you wish you wouldn't have experienced is shitty. But I definitely over the years have processed all of the things that I have went through in relationships and have been able to you know, work through a lot of internalized like guilt and blaming, which bitch, I know, like I'm gonna say this out loud for myself mainly. I know it's not my fault. Um, I was a kid, so I know it is not my fault, regardless of what the world can say. But if you're watching this and you kind of can read between the lines, or pick up some hints, I would also like to say that it's not your fault either. Like sometimes we are not in the right uh, mindset or stage of development because we're young to make the best decisions. And even though people around us tell us, you know, that it's not the best decision and are like our voices of reasoning, and even though we don't listen, it's still not your fault. And this takes years of therapy to work through, and years of myself building a certain type of relationship with myself. So it's like I gotta be there for myself too, just like everyone should be there for themselves as well. Um, and I've really learned to ground myself through these years, to work through a lot of the pain, the internalized shame, guilt, and blaming. And it all starts with talking about it and being honest. And it hurts and it opens up wounds, and you can re experience things. So, everything at your own time, and at your own pace, and whenever you're ready, because it's a difficult topic to speak about. But those relationships, that could be a whole hour long video. But certain things I really don't really disclose, so, or share. And yeah, that was hard. That was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But toxic relationships, what can I say? They fucking suck. So that was intense. So I guess I'll talk about what I do when I'm single, which pandemic has made it more challenging. If anything, it's made it not recommended to see people that are outside of your like household, or outside of your social circle. That's a limited social circle at that. So there's no like in-person dating anymore. I'm on some of the apps. I usually delete those shits after like a week, but I'll make a profile, match with people. We'll never talk, because no one will make the first move. And you know what? Like, it's just if you know dating apps now, uh, the system of matching, and then someone having to message first. If you're both shy, or if you're both like scared to some level or some degree, then nobody's gonna speak to each other. So that match is gonna be sitting there for like as long as you have that profile open. And I'm on some of the apps, but when it comes to my current preference of dating, uh, I don't want to fucking date. So, and I love that about myself. I don't really like dating. Like, if I date you, that means that either one, like, I made that decision on the spot. Like, all my relationships, but all my relationships except for the one that I spoke about, the manipulative guy, uh, those relationships were all rushed. And I feel like my next relationship is actually something that I want to feel comfortable saying, this is something that I waited for. I got to know this person thoroughly. And obviously people are going to be like, well, duh, wouldn't you want to know the person? Well, gay dating or being trans and dating, it kind of tends to be like very fast paced. And correct me if I'm wrong, that might be a stereotype, but like from the shit I've experienced, it's very fast paced because our community is so small. The gay community, depending on where you live, can be super small, but then the trans community is much smaller. And it's just, yeah, that shit is expedited. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if that was the right word, but the shit is fast, is what I meant to say. And shit, like the next relationship, I want to take my time. I want that person to really get to know me, respect my boundaries, um, and just be the person that I can see myself being with for a long time. If not marry the motherfucker, but um, you know, that shit is another conversation in itself. Like, do I want to get married? But we're gonna stick to the relationship topic here. I want to take my time with the next relationship and definitely make sure that that person appreciates me, is a solid partner, that we can be there for each other, respect each other's backgrounds, and also, be authentically ourselves without having to put on this like fake mask and trying to be our perfect version of ourselves at all times for this person. Like, no, I want it to be a very down to earth relationship, and he gotta fucking love food because, bitch, I hope he knows how to cook, and I know how to cook too. So we're gonna gain that relationship weight together, bitch. If you out there, boo, you know where to find me. YouTube. Um, but yeah, currently I don't really prefer to date. I don't really. I'm not an affectionate person either, so my ideal person is very like sarcastic, very extra. I love extra people, or shy. I'm not even gonna say like just exclusively extra. You could be extra and super shy. Like that's I like people who surprise me. I don't know. Maybe you could be shy and then when nobody's looking, be this extra ass motherfucker. So just as I was saying, dating isn't something that I see myself doing for a while. So I am usually just, if I whatever happens, happens. I guess flings. Like, there's no easy way to say like, yeah, I'm down for flings, but definitely casual type of relationships. And I'm cool with that. Like, I am on some apps where gay dating apps, and it's hard being trans on a gay dating app, especially presenting fluidly. Like sometimes I like wearing makeup and dressing up in cutesy clothes and stuff like that, but it doesn't take away from the fact that I'm a man. And on certain apps I get like death threats, I get harassed by, of course, faceless profiles, because obviously if you showed your face and I could identify you, then we're gonna fight. No, I'm kidding. But there's a lot of harsh people out there on the internet that they hope to break you down, but honestly, like, those people really, like, when you think about it, you have nothing better to do than to send hate messages. Like, bitch, subscribe to Netflix and like find a show or something. Like, why are you on here harassing people? That's weird. But yeah, being on certain dating apps, especially like gay dating apps, it's really toxic because people think that I'm a woman trying to like prey on gay guys, and I'm just like, I'm trans. Like, you can look that shit up. It's not my job to educate you, but if you want to have a conversation, okay. And then you have the people who specifically seek out trans people, and we call those people chasers. And is not is like a chaser is somebody who's going to specifically seek you out because you're trans, because it's very linked to like treating you as a fetish. Like, oh, I like your kind of people, somebody who was born with like female anatomy, and yet you look male and you're on hormones. And that to me is like, if you're specifically seeking me out because of the community that I belong to, you're a fucking chaser. Like, there's no other way to say that. And a lot of times I either get gay guys who don't like me because I was born with like female anatomy, and then then it gets into like the harassment, or or it's hard to find somebody who's gay or queer and that likes men, but happens to like trans men as well. Because at the end of the day, some people are only attracted to certain body parts, and it's beyond me. Like, I can't control who people are attracted to, or what attracts people. So there's that end of it. But then the chasers are really, it's gross for someone to seek you out just because of your you know because you're trans. Like, it's just, when you think about it, you don't like me for my personality. You don't like me because you're physically attracted to the features that make me unique. You're just attracted to the fact that I belong to a certain community. So that is a chaser, and quite frankly, that's some people would call it a preference. A preference could be like, oh, I like short, hairy guys, or I like tall men who have beards and nice facial hair. But to say that your preference is trans people is to say that your preference is like only Latino people, and as a white person you only want to date Latino people, or you only want to date black people. Like, what is your reasoning behind that? If I could see if you belong to a community like me, like I'm trans and I want to date other trans people because I want like a partner who understands me and understands like what it's like being from that community. I could understand that, like, you're specifically seeking out somebody else who is also a part of your community. But if you're not in that community and you're seeking somebody out specifically, yeah, enough said. And I didn't even say shit. That's weird. So yeah, the chasers is really uncomfortable, and you know, I just want someone to like me for me, and not because I'm trans. And on regular dating apps that aren't exclusively like for gay guys or queer guys who are attracted to men, it's hard because people will not read my freaking bio that says I am a trans man before you message me. Like, send me the thumbs up emoji so I know you read my bio, because I am a trans man. And then I'll get to talking to somebody and disclose that I'm trans. Like, it'll come up in a conversation and they'll be like, what? And I'll be like, bitch, what do you mean what? I'm confused because you should have read my bio. Like, why are you not reading my bio? There's words in there. I could see if I didn't have a bio and it was just like we got to talking, but I have a whole bio and you did not read that. So do you not care about like my interests? Because I'm offended. Because, bitch, I got some nice stuff in my bio. Like, my bios are usually really clever, but it's really difficult, to say the least, to date, especially using apps. It's not difficult using the apps for me personally, but the challenges that come with being trans and using those apps, whether it's how you're going to be received on an app like a gay queer dating app, as a trans person, or mainly dominated by cisgender people. But it is what it is, and I feel like meeting people in person is ultimately where I'll find somebody that I vibe with, especially after the pandemic, when we're able to be in groups of people again. Meeting somebody, whether it's in a friend's social circle, and I connect with one of their friends and that's the person I end up dating. Just social circles in person, like at events, functions, all that stuff. Because online dating is a flop so far. But again, I'm not interested in dating. But a man has emotional needs and whatnot. So I'm usually just looking for something casual, and in order for that to develop into a relationship, I have to vibe with somebody, be emotionally attracted to them. They gotta respect, like, not just my one of my identities, all of them. Like, you gotta really respect me as a person and see me as a whole, like what makes me me, and respect that. But also, I like somebody who is funny as fuck. Like, I need to laugh every fucking day. Um, but yeah, that's a little gist of some dating stuff. All this chatting, bitch. Turned off the camera, was like, yes, I got all the fucking videos for my YouTube video. And guess what? When I turned off the camera, I had replayed all the videos, made sure everything was like good, it flowed nicely, and I realized I forgot to talk about the time I was in love, which makes sense because I got my heart broken. But bitch, there's some tea. Of like that could be another video in itself, cause this man did me filthy. But I'm gonna talk about that time that I was in love because that is a huge part of you know, a huge part of relationships for me and what I hope to look for in future ones, but also how beautiful that one was. Even though he was a piece of shit, but no, he wasn't. It's kind of like a bittersweet story. And I did forget to mention earlier, but the four relationships I had, three of them were before I came out as a trans man, and the one with my last boyfriend, he was also trans, or he is also trans, and that was my second my first relationship after I came out, but that was my second time like involved in something romantic after I came out. The first time involved in something romantic after I came out happened to be the first time I fell in love with somebody. No. It was, it's, like I said, it's a bittersweet feeling. Um, this man actually, I worked with this person, and, this was a college fling, if you will. And, it was just the most perfect thing I could have experienced up until the point where it ended, and it ended for reasons beyond my control. Actually, I did decide to cut this person off, but it is complicated. My reasonings were valid, and before I get into all of that, I was talking about how perfect it was before it ended, and it really was. This person made me feel comfortable being myself 100%. The most perfect person I could have ever asked for. Everything that I look for in romantic bonds, like the emotional attraction, the physical attraction. Oh, this person was so fucking funny. Every day was just, it was perfect. Like, I am so grateful that this person was in my life and that we crossed paths, because I truly think that a love like that comes once in a lifetime. And it's complicated because this person was in my life. I'm not crying, bitch. My eyes got watery. But this person was in my life before I came out and after I came out. And this person identified as straight. So after I came out, it was a little bit complicated. It was a little bit challenging for this person to get my pronouns right, to refer to me as he, him, and his, but also by my preferred name at the time. And, eventually he got it. He was able to show me that basic respect. And it gets complicated because, romantically speaking, we were getting there before my transition, but things didn't really escalate until after, I came out, to everyone that I knew. I was publicly out, and it was one of the first times that I started presenting the way I wanted to. Bitch, I got my hair cut, and yo, I look fucking good, bitch. Like, that was my first haircut where I'm like, yeah, bitch, like, I'm that bitch. But I looked like a young man. Like, that haircut was everything. Like, and I started wearing like more masculine clothing, and I was really, out there presenting male and carrying myself in the way that made me feel comfortable and authentic and genuine. And it wasn't until after I came out and started presenting that way that things with this gentleman escalated sexually. Awkward. No, but I'm serious. Like, after I came out and started presenting male, this person who identifies as straight, and I'm gonna respect that till this day, you know, he's straight. But then when I came out and was authentically myself, made it known to everyone that I am male, go by he, him, his, that things between us escalated, and it was a very low-key thing. And, you know, to me, I didn't know if it was one of those situations where, you know, if he wants to come out, is he scared to come out? But then it wasn't my place to, you know, it wasn't my place to force him to do anything that he didn't want to do. All that we knew is that we wanted to keep our thing that we had low-key. And with the low-key stuff, I think he's the reason why I will always be extra cautious of anyone who is low-key about relationships. I like keeping my stuff private to a certain extent, and, you know, not everyone has to know your business. But at the same time, I also fear it, because being trans, you never want someone to be like, you know, I'm hiding you from the world and you're my little secret. You know, that's not something that I want for myself. I want to be publicly loved and appreciated. And bitch, you gotta let these bitches know you secured a good one. You know, you know, I just want what everyone else wants if they're looking for like someone to love them unapologetically. And you know, we had our low-key thing, but part of me really feels that it was low-key to protect you know, him, and I was okay with that, because I'm not trying to say that he's not straight. But if that was the case, or if that is the case, then, you know, it's good that it was low-key. But at the same time, it kind of hurt me a little bit that I did feel like a little secret. But other than that, you know, we had a very special bond. To this day, I'm just like, yeah, that's the love of my life, because I just, you know, like, when you feel a genuine connection with somebody, and you're like, you ask yourself, will I ever fucking love like that again? Because I'm not sure if he was in love with me or whatever, and I'm not trying to be like, oh my god, I was in love with him, like, head over heels with him. You know, I was in love with him, but it wasn't like infatuation, because, you know, at the end of the day, I wanted what's best for this man. And just even now, after he did me fucking dirty, wish him the best. And he was really something special. Like, regardless of all the shit that went down between him and I, he gave me something so special and so beautiful. And I cannot thank him enough for that. But I also want to say a fuck you to you, if you're watching this, or fuck you to him, because he was somebody who didn't respect one of my biggest boundaries at the moment, at that specific time period in my life. And that's the reason why I had temporarily cut him off. I fully intended to reach back out to him, and when I did, like, I kind of broke down what had went down between us the last time, like, we were together. I was like, what, you know, this is something that you did. It really bothered me. And, you know, all I wanted was an apology, because it hurt, because I loved him, and to be hurt by somebody that you love, it's kind of like somebody stabs you in the heart. And, you know, I wanted more than anything for us to be good, but at the end of the day, when you break something down for somebody and they're not ready to accept accountability, you know, it could go many ways, but, you know, the two most common ways is either they're like, yes, I'm sorry, like, I truly understand what I did, and, you know, I don't blame you if you don't forgive me, but, you know, here's me taking accountability. Or it goes the other way and they just fucking ghost you, which is exactly how that shit went down. And it hurts. Like, that is, no matter how much time goes by, that will always be an open wound. Because when you fall in love, and when you think somebody's the love of your life, who knows? Maybe I could have a love of my life in 5 days, 5 years, 50 years, who knows? But when you love somebody to that level of, when you love somebody to that level, it's really hard to not say that they were the love of your life, because truly I do feel like he was the love of my life, and that that's the only type of love that comes once in a lifetime. But it was really complicated, all those moving parts, transitioning, his feelings, and what we did before my transition versus after my transition, what he meant to me. And more than anything, I feel like right now in my life, if he were to come back into my life, and for whatever reason, more than anything, I would just want to leave things off in a very, a decent place, and explain like what went down, and kind of settle some things. Not saying that I would want to rekindle any, like, I wouldn't even call it a relationship, but rekindle any romantic spark that was there. But I would definitely like to be on good terms with him. He meant a lot to me, and he still does. And like I said, it's a bittersweet feeling, and man, you fucked up, buddy. So, you did fuck up, and I don't know if he's gonna watch this video. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. If you are watching this video, I wish you the best. If you do try to reach out to me, then shit, my Instagram handle. But I guess I'm trying to make a light of this experience, but it is really painful to talk about. That was the one time I fell in love, and it was the one time I was heartbroken. And again, I'm gonna say the catchphrase, "men ain't shit." No, I'm kidding. It's just making light of a situation that sometimes you just have to make light of certain situations in order to not feel that Band-Aid rip over and over again. I feel like I rambled in this video because my mouth is dry, so I was talking a lot. I was chatting up a storm, and I really enjoyed making this video. There's probably a lot of things I left out about relationships, or actually not. I think I covered a lot of shit, so I should stop cursing in these videos, because if I start making money, will I get demonetized? But that will be for a long time, bitch. I only got like 10 subscribers or some shit, but I don't even think it's 10. But anyways, I really appreciate everyone for watching this video. I will make the binding video at some point this year. But all jokes aside, I'm gonna make that video, and I just wanted to put this one out there because I want to at least put some content on my YouTube channel consistently. So the next time I will upload a video, it might be the binding video or it might not be, but I'm definitely interested to hear what y'all want me to talk about. If there's anything specific you want me to try out, or if there's anything specific you want to see me do. Keep it PG-13, bitches. But yeah, thank you for watching this video, and if you haven't already, subscribed, and you can share, like, and comment, and I would really appreciate that. And thank you all for just the support and the love, and I will see you next time. And I'm gonna do this little fucking hand thingy. No, I'm not, bitch. Alright, I gotta turn off the camera.